For 3 years straight, my ex-wife and I co-parent fine.
Okay.
No issues. But now over the last couple of months, all of a sudden, she wants to be my friend. She wants to come to my house and sit on my counters and crack jokes, and she wants to have holidays together as a family, and she wants to invite me up to her apartment and help her fix little things around her apartment. I was simply trying to explain how I don't want to be your friend. I've already set that boundary, and now you're stepping on that boundary.
After failing to replace him, she tried to get him back, but it was a bit late as he was no longer
I think this is probably the biggest sign of women trying to get their men back by trying to be a family again and doing these little things.
interested.
They'll start missing you when they realize that they can't replace you. They'll try, but they will realize they can't. Some memories just can't be replaced. Number 2, when they go through a hard time and they realize that they need someone that knows how to comfort them, and they want to be comforted in a way that they have before.
You can say that, but most men hardly ever get comfort, so they're used to it anyways. It's not a big deal.
By you. So I guess what I'm saying is, Jimmy, don't replace a good girl for just a good time.
They start missing you when you stop caring. He left, and so far he hasn't looked back. Actually, he replaced me barely a month later. He replaced me before he even left. He is happy he's not with me. They come back when you are done. That's the hard truth about it, and that's why most come back after some time. The sad part is that a lot of them leave long-term relationships just because they receive a certain type of attention from someone they barely know, and they are willing to leave their current partner for that momentaneous feeling. They trade those temporary feelings for a solid relationship, but usually, it doesn't take long for them to realize that it was actually a mistake. As soon as those temporary feelings starts to wear off, or when they struggle to replace their partner, things become clearer and then they want to return.
That's what they do. They think they can upgrade. They try to replace you because you were actually the good man. They fail for multiple years trying to replace you. So then they try to be your friend. It's one of those situations where they don't want you, but they don't want anybody else to have you either. They brainwash themselves and let people think that they're better than what they are. So they think they can upgrade from you, not realizing in the moment that you were the best they were going to find. That you were truly the good man that would have taken care of her and done anything for her. So once they get down that road of trying to replace you and failing over a couple of years, they then get the bright idea of, well, let's be friends with my ex. I'm going to try to be friends with him. I just went through this. For 3 years straight, my ex-wife and I co-parent fine. No issues. We didn't have any conversations past what needed to be happening for our kid. But now over the last couple of months, all of a sudden, she wants to be my friend.
Maybe the dating scene wasn't as bright as she expected, and that's why she decided to come back and try her luck.
She wants to come to my house and sit on my counters and crack jokes and, talk about her day and talk about her problems with work and everything else. She wants to have holidays together as a family, and she wants to make me coffee in the morning when I go over to pick my kid up to take him to school. She wants to invite me up to her apartment and help her fix little things around her apartment. She wants to do Halloween
We don't chase booty.
themed like a family with our son. But when I finally saw the light and I finally said, what's going on here? Like, is she trying to get back in my life? Is she trying to be back together?
She definitely wants to get back together, because if that wasn't the case, she wouldn't make those suggestions.
Yeah, remember, when they break up with you, they're disgusted by you, at least until they figure out you're all they got.
If she was living happily with her plan A, she wouldn't waste her time checking on him.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I made it perfectly clear to you that I will not be your friend. We can co-parent. We can, do all that stuff. That's fine. I have no issue with that. But we don't need to talk. I don't need to hear you vent about your work or all this stuff. I don't need you calling me in the morning when you get fired from a job crying your eyes out. I don't need you telling me that you're not wearing panties. Friends don't do that.
This is the reason it's good to display your boundaries and stick with them, as it will prevent
She wanted some good old D.
future drama. He noticed that she was doing things that a regular friend wouldn't do, and that's why he had to let her know that she was doing a bit too much.
I was simply trying to explain how I don't want to be your friend.
Hell no.
I've already set that boundary, and now you're stepping on that boundary. So your cop-out is that, oh, this is what's best for our kid. Us being friends is what, no, it's not. What's best for our child is for us to just simply co-parent.
As he mentioned, the most important thing at this point is co-parenting. There is no need to do all the extra stuff she was doing. I thought I was going crazy. She found a new guy, but the moment I started exploring options, she wanted to spend time with me. Bro, she is trying to get you back because she realized you are the best thing out there.
Yep.
And you have to make a decision. Everyone is...
A lot of times, as long as you're doing your thing, you're grinding, you're improving yourself, making good money, living a good life. The women that rejected you, left you, divorced you, usually do tend to come back. They keep track more than us men keep track of women. Women really keep track of men.
Is different. My ex tried to get me to take her back a couple of times. I can't do it. As soon as there was one other dude, I was done. What's best for my kids is to see me healthy. I'm in the same situation. My ex-wife said she was bored and wanted to live her best life. I said I'm good. I'm living my best life. It's scary how relatable this is. After doing her best to replace him, she probably realized that he was her best option, and that's the reason she is using that strategy to get...
Used 30-year-old women with 2 kids, just like that statement says. You really think you can upgrade or can do better than the man that put those 2 babies in you? That already takes care of things?
Get back with him.
What?
But based on his reaction, it's evident that he doesn't want to engage in a relationship where he is the backup plan. He knows that she wouldn't make those moves if the grass was greener as she expected, and that could be one of the reasons he decided to pass on those advances. Due to social media and some unread DMs, she probably thought he was easily replaceable, but reality showed her something else. This type of cases highlights one of the main issues we have in our current dating scene, which is the false idea of endless options. It was interesting that the comment section was full of men who relate to his situation. Some already went through the same thing, and others are currently facing it. Most of them stated by the time their exes tried to check on them, they were no longer interested. For some reason, they usually start missing the person they left when he already moved on.
That's exactly when they start missing him, is when they move on. Every time you get a new girlfriend, a new wife or something, the baby mamas and the exes always feel a way about it.
Because you wanted to go cheat and got flipped. Out of my bed crying. I need you to get out of my bed. It's time for you to leave. You don't live at my house. She wants to act dramatic because she flipped her car last night while she was drunk and cheating on me. She says I shattered her world when she's the one who went out. She's the one who flipped her car. She's the one who decided to try to leave the house in the first place. So it's all on her, not me. This is what being an adult is. Knowing when to move on.
That was the best part of this video. This is a great display of maturity, and this is how this type of issue should be solved. There is no point in arguing. It will be better for both.
And it's definitely that time. She didn't have no makeup on. Didn't have this nice outfit that I bought for her on. But all of a sudden, she Houdini'd into the outfit. Wow, what does that mean? Cheating, lying, being sneaky.
Don't move them in. You won't have to put them out. Delete her number and keep it moving.
He might not have moved her in. She just might have just came in.
Remember,
Possible.
you're the prize. Bro, cheating with the outfit I bought for you is diabolical. They're not married. Time to move on. Good job for keeping your composure.
Agreed.
You did good. She can't take accountability for anything. It's all his fault. Lesson learned. Choose better. You better get out of there. The best part of this video was his reaction while dealing with this situation. That was a mature man's move, and this is how we should handle it.
Yep.
There is no need to argue or make the situation even worse. If things get to this stage, the best thing we can do is remove ourselves from that environment. It will prevent further complications. Also, that behavior would show the other party that they were dealing with a confident man who isn't easily affected by external factors. The whole case could have taken a different turn if he had a different approach to this situation. So the most appropriate solution is always to move on with our lives and let them go about theirs. Many guys found themselves in a lot of drama just because they weren't able to control their emotions in a similar case. Their future was unnecessarily compromised, and it would have been avoided if they were as mature as he is.
Don't ask me for relationship advice, because my advice is either break up, get a divorce, or throw him down the stairs.
That's why you are single. I'm jealous of
I would not want to be with any woman like you.
their relationship. This is why you look at the person and their track record before you ask for advice. You wouldn't go to a broke person for financial advice. What if you find a good man? Then what? I agree. Don't ask you for relationship advice. I don't know whether she was trying to be funny or serious when she made those statements, but some people have this type of friend.
It's that misery loves company, right? So your single friends keep you single, just like her. All of her advices are going to make you single.
Imagine if she is your wife's friend. You already know that you are going to get the divorce paper on your first argument, and this is why your spouse should select their friends carefully. But we have to agree that she is an honest person. She didn't leave anything to the imagination. At this point, the best you can do is pray so your partner doesn't have this type of friend. Some people end up developing this mindset due to their own inability to have relationships, and those who decide to take relationship advice from them should think again, as those friends aren't the best when it comes to this department. This is the same as asking a broke person for financial advice. We know they aren't the best at that subject, because if they were, they wouldn't be broke. What makes
I can slightly disagree, but I understand it.
people think that someone who couldn't get money for themselves can somehow offer you advice on how to be wealthy? Imagine being in a relationship with someone who
He might not be able to give you advice at being wealthy, but he might be able to give you advice to avoid being broke.
has that mindset. That would be a short ride, as she would be out the first time you guys disagree on anything, as she isn't the type who is willing to work on issues.
Self-improvement time.
Welcome to our self-development section. Today we will touch again on the power of choice. This is the most important piece that will define the type of life we will live. So we need to make the right choice, which will eventually lead us to the desired outcome.
You can choose a life of ease and comfort, or you can choose a life of service and adventure. Which one of those, when you're 90 years old, are you going to be more proud of?
I like Jeff's concept. We have the power to choose a path that is more likely to give us the life we dream of. But the sad reality is that most of us want the same thing, but unfortunately, only a small percentage is willing to do what is required to achieve it. This is where the issue lies. We know what we want, we know what we can do in order to achieve it, but most would rather stay in their comfort zone instead of getting out of it for a better life. And then they are the first to complain when things get hard for them. So if you make the right choice and do what is required, life will be easier down the road, unlike those who decide to go with the flow.